Boom. And we are live with another episode of the Brown Water Banter podcast. My name is Jared Seymour.
My name is Joey Cates.
That's right. We got a great show for you this evening. We got David and Mason from Overwatch Supply. They're going to be talking to us about their store over in Ocean Springs and all things outdoor and tactical. So we're going to jump into that in just a second. But before we do, we're going to mention the sponsors like we always do, the people that keep the show running. Our good buddy, Dr. Robbie Williams over at Southern Magnolia Smiles. If you're looking for a great local dentist, he's located on Washington Avenue in Ocean Springs, and you can follow him on the socials at Southern Magnolia Smiles. When you're ready to book that appointment, just give him a call at 228-215-1202 and tell him that you heard about him from the Brown Water Banter podcast. Moving right along, we have Jesse Hill and his team over at Hill Tree Marketing. If you need a website built for any reason, they can take you from no concept all the way to an award-winning website. Just go over to hilltreemarketing.com. Look at some of the brands that he's already worked with locally. He's got full service in-house from photography to videography, aerial drone stuff. He can make you a commercial. He can handle all the IT, the back-end networks of your website. For whatever reason, small business owner or a content creator, whatever. hilltreemarketing.com. Go check him out. Rocky Brooks, our good buddy at Cedar Swamp, Goche Van Cleve Road. Take the exit, go south, man. Look him up on Facebook, C2 and Swamp. Another local outdoor apparel store. Rocky's got all your fishing needs covered. He's got rods, reels, tackles, apparel for a day out on the water. He sells the brown water hats. He sells Fish in the South gear. So he's always supporting the community and supporting us. So we want to support him and grab that monthly edition of Mississippi Coastal Angler. It's pretty much all over the place.
Yeah, we got about 500 in here somewhere.
Yeah, but if you know, just look at it. He's got them there, obviously. But they're at a bunch of businesses. So check that magazine out as well. Rocky runs that. So super happy to have him on board as well. Taylor and Cox Law Firm. Been practicing law for 30 years over in Pascagoula. If you find yourself in need for some representation, they specialize in criminal law, family law, and civil litigation defense. Give them a call at 228-696-0111. And then we have coming up this weekend, April the 1st. Not April. It is April Fool's, but it's not a joke.
That's right.
We have the Bay Rat Bash. It's turning a hardhead catfish into $700, man. We've got some separate categories outside of the hardhead division. We've got black drum, croaker, and sheep's head. If you dive, we have a completely separate division for that as well.
He said dive, not die.
Right. Dive, D-I-V-E. If you dive, we have a separate division for that as well. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, something that you want to do, go over to brownwaterbanter.com that Hill Tree Marketing built, and you can register now. It's $25 entry fee for the hardhead division and $25 kickers for each other division. You can fish as many as you want as long as you fish the hardhead. So we're super pumped about that. We're going to be at the Blind Tiger Friday for the captain's meeting, and then the weigh-in will be Saturday, April the 1st.
That's right, 5 to 6.
5 to 6, yeah. We got a lot of sponsors here. We're going to be mentioning and shouting them out at the meeting and during the weigh-in as well. But it's going to be a good time, man. I think we should probably just run through real quick what we got. Chasing Dots, Charter Trash, South Mississippi Boat Show, Splash Mat, Saltwater Fanatics, The Bayou, Ocean Springs Marine Mart, In Too Deep, Chandelier Brewing, obviously the Blind Tiger, Coastal Angler Mississippi Magazine. Joey, did I miss any? I think I got them all right here. And our buddies Fish in the South. We teamed up with them.
Deepwater Mafia?
Spearfishing? Okay, yeah, it's right there. Yep. Yeah. So for the Spearfish division, Deepwater Mafia, and we've had a couple of those guys on the show before. So it's going to be a good time, family fun. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, $25, and you can fish. It's all inside the bay, right? You don't need a big boat. Actually, you don't need a boat at all.
You don't need a boat at all.
Yeah, you can fish from the shore. So it's going to be a good time. So now that we've got that all out of the way, how are we doing, gentlemen?
Good, and yourself?
Doing real well, man. Real well. So, Overwatch Supply, y'all are over in Ocean Springs, is that correct?
Ocean Springs, behind the Whataburger.
Behind the Whataburger.
And y'all have been there for a while. So, the Whataburger in Ocean Springs.
Why am I drawing up? It's right there by Ocean Walmart.
Yes. Yeah, the shopping center just east of Walmart.
There's a shopping center directly behind the Whataburger.
Okay.
And we're hidden back in there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's a busy area.
It is. We'd like to be closer to the road to get a little bit more exposure, but we actually get referrals from all over the coast. Okay. Every pawn shop and gun store sends folks to us to get holsters made.
Really?
So, even though we're not out front,
right?
We still get a lot of traffic.
Yeah. definitely would, location and being visible from the road is good, but if you put out a good product and you're supplying a, particular market with
word of mouth is sometimes
yeah,
better.
yeah. I mean, you can get people over to your store for sure. So
you've been there 7 years. Obviously, this fella right here was in diapers or close to being in diapers when that started, right? Tell us how this idea came about and how y'all kicked it up.
Well, before we started the store, I worked for Gander Mountain for a while.
Okay, in Hattiesburg?
No, actually in Mobile.
Okay, I used to go to one in Hattiesburg all the time.
Yep.
I live right by it.
Yeah, there was a few of them around. They were actually getting ready to build one in D'Iberville at one point.
Okay.
And we were sitting around one day, and I tell folks it's kind of funny. I said, God was working on my heart, said, hey, it's time to do something a little different.
Yeah.
And we was sitting around talking with the guys at work one night, and I said, you know what we ought to do is we ought to build our own store with all the stuff that we keep getting asked for that we don't carry.
Right.
and just do that. And everybody's like, yeah.
Right.
Because everybody we worked with, like our whole gun cabinet was ex-military and all that. And they were all like, yeah, we need this in the area. 2 weeks later, I'm not with Gander anymore. We're looking for a building. We're full speed ahead and trying to get it going.
Dang. Did Gander Mountain, did that business completely go under, or did they just close these stores?
That's God's providence right there. It wasn't but 6 months later they went belly up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I would have been out of a job anyway.
I got you. Yeah. I went to, they had like a big clearance sale, the one in Hattiesburg. You got some good deals and stuff up there.
We actually, since I knew the managers that were still there, some of our fixtures and all actually come from Gander, like all our knife cases, our 511 fixtures.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's repurposed.
I went over there and it's like, hey, Jerry, I need some of them cabinets.
He's like, absolutely.
I got you, buddy. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So is that where y'all went first? Was the Ocean Springs location that you're at now?
That's the other one where God was stepping in. We were on vacation and I told my wife, I said, hey, we're fixing to do this. She's like, okay.
She's like, all right.
And we took the kids to Disney World and we come back and I said, I got a day. Let's go scout some locations. Mm-hmm. And we went to one or two and then we ended up there and we walked up and the door was unlocked. And we just walked in. It's like, okay, we made a phone call. And then it was like, this is how much it is. Well, that's our budget. It's like, all right, where's the paperwork?
We'll take it. Yeah. Sign on the dotted line.
Just, I mean, you couldn't have planned for everything to fall in place as perfect as it did.
What year was that?
That was 2016.
Okay. All right.
Now, are you ex-military?
No.
Okay, so the guys you worked with were ex-military. You worked around them all the time, right?
That job and my previous job, I had a lot of dealings with law enforcement and prior military. I worked retail, loss prevention, security, hazmat, and a lot of the guys we were bringing in were former military.
Okay.
So I worked with a lot of former police, a lot of military, and it's just who I tend to gravitate towards, I guess.
Yeah.
They follow me everywhere as I go.
Well, I mean, your business,
you're selling a certain product,
right.
you're going to certain.
That's definitely the people you want in your corner for sure.
No joke, yeah.
Well, tell us about the business. Tell us about what it is and what it's all about and what you carry and all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, what was the items at Gander Mountain? You know what I mean? You said that's how you started the story, right? That's Like, what were the items?
That was the thing. We'd be at Gander. We had these earpieces in. Everybody had these Motorola radio.
Kind of like security,
yeah.
Well, like Academy.
Yeah,
we hit a button and then whatever you say, everybody hears. So all day long, somebody would go, hey, who's got blah, blah, blah? And I'd be on there. So-and-so on the internet's got it on sale this week. And then they say, oh, somebody's looking for cat turnips. NAR's running a special. And that's just all day long we were shooting stuff across like that on the radio. I was like, man, why don't we have any of this stuff if we keep getting asked for it?
Is that a corporate thing?
Yeah. And Gander did a lot of things right, and they did some things wrong. And I really think they expanded too far, too fast.
Yeah, maybe so.
And they tripped, and that's kind of what happened. I mean, they were sending us snowboards.
See here
in July, I get a shipment of snowboards. What am I going to do with these?
Yeah, what are you going to do with these? Nothing.
And
what are you going to do with them in the winter?
Nothing. And we were getting snow gillies, and I'm like, it doesn't snow in South Alabama.
Yeah.
And you go to corporate and you say, hey, why am I getting this stuff? I said, well, they might be going on a trip. All right. Well, if I was going on a trip, I'd buy all this bulky stuff there instead of trying to tote it with me.
Correct.
God,
we ended up with all kinds of goofy stuff.
Yeah.
And it was, we had fly rods and wicker baskets and all that. And it's like there ain't no
Stuff you
steelhead
never
around here.
use it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's weird with those big corporate companies, even like Academy and stuff like that. Like I hate to keep name dropping names, but it's almost like they have a set thing and they send it to every store. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah.
But like you said, I'm never going to buy a snowboard in South Mississippi or South Alabama ever. No. Not a single time.
Nope.
Not even if I go somewhere, I'm going to buy it up there. If
Right.
I'm going to rent it, I'm not going to use it but one time.
Yeah.
Right.
This
That's
is
kind of
weird.
weird. What were some of the items that you said though that y'all were going back and forth on the radio? What was I didn't hear what you said.
Like tourniquets.
Okay.
Everybody. I mean, we think everybody should have a tournament with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's one of those things where if you need it, you don't need to be looking for it. You don't need to be on Amazon. Hey, I'm bleeding out.
Let me get 2 days.
Yeah, let me get 2 days.
Y'all do 2 hours?
Yeah.
It's like prime ain't fast enough.
Yeah.
Tourniquets, different weapons sights and optics and kind of the out of the box kind of stuff that maybe they were dealing with in the military or law enforcement, and then once they've gotten out, they kind of won't set up their gear the same way.
Right.
Like I hung out with guys that when they go to the range, they went in full kit. Plate carriers,
everything.
If they had nods, they were running nods. It's like y'all were a little on the serious side.
I just came out here to shoot, man.
I guess you want to train like you are going to perform.
That's what they say. You train like you fight.
Yeah. If you don't have your plates on when you're shooting at the range, but then you put them on to go to work, whatever these guys are doing, law enforcement or whatever, right?
Yeah. It makes a difference.
Yeah. It's 50, 60 pounds hauling it around.
It would look weird if I did it. Me and Joey, because we don't work in that profession. You know?
Well, there's a lot of people now that's using it for like CrossFit and all. They have these carriers that's very similar to the military ones. And they put weighted plates in, and good for them. I'm too old and too pudgy for all that.
You're done with that.
Yeah.
Those tourniquets, you brought up a good point. I teach carpentry at the Ivory High School, and we had the fire department come in, and that's the first thing they talk about is wound care. I mean, they give wound care, and first thing he says is, he flips the tourniquet out. He goes, if you don't own this tourniquet, if you don't own a tourniquet, the very first thing you need to do is buy one. Put it in your car, put it in your boat, put it in your bug out bag, survival bag, whatever you want to call it, but have it, because what's it take about once you hit that, what was the big, what do you bleed out in like 3 minutes? You're dead.
Quick, very, very
You know
quick.
what I'm saying?
I work trauma for Singing River Hospital, and I've seen someone get run over by a train. No, I didn't see it happen, but they brought it in, and he had like 2 or 3 tourniquets on, and I'm talking massive, traumatic wounds, lost his legs, but because of the tourniquets, it was a controlled environment. Yeah. Whereas had he not had those on,
and it's not like you can just, in a pinch situation, you could take your belt off or might take your shirt, but they're not going to work nearly as good as the tourniquets.
Not like you can crank down on these tourniquets. I've never applied one of those, but I've seen them.
They hurt,
used and it's impressive.
If you do it right,
if it ain't hurt,
my God, you're screwed. I don't do it with my kids, and you get them 2 or 3 cranks, and you can go 2 or 3 cranks, and their arm's just going to fall off, and they're screaming already.
Well, it's better than dying.
If you're trying to save somebody's life, you might as well put that pressure on them.
Yeah. So that was one of the items.
That was one of the items. Stuff like the first aid or trauma care type stuff.
Right.
Different clothes, particular backpacks. It just there's a wide range of stuff,
like specialty stuff.
Some of it's specialty, some of it's just not brands that you normally see around here.
Yeah. Does Joey mentioned bug out bag? Is a lot of what y'all sell and do like
we do
prepper stuff? Is that a good term?
I wouldn't say we do. When we originally opened, we tried to have a little bit more prepper stuff. And it didn't do as well as I thought it would.
Right.
We still keep some core stuff in. And one thing we've seen over the past couple of years since the pandemic and all is there's a lot more folks starting to set stuff aside, trying to kind of bulk up on things, like the Berkey water filters we carry.
Yeah. 3 days and you're dead without water. So it
don't take long.
No.
But we do try to keep some stuff in the freeze dried food, MREs, things like that. But some of the more special, like the meals and all that for wheat and all, we kind of got away from that.
Like the MRE kind of things?
No, like actual hand grinders.
Oh, okay.
For grinding wheat and turning it into flour. And
wow.
So
I didn't realize people were going that far.
Me
with
neither.
It.
Oh, there you. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
You remember that show on? It was like Nat Geo, Doomsday Preppers. I used to watch that show religiously. I loved that show.
Yeah,
you could learn a lot from that show, and some of the people were way out there, but it's like I don't know if the shit hits the fan, he's the guy you're gonna be wishing you were.
And that's the thing with a lot of them folks that are heavy preppers.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna find them when it hits.
No,
they're gone.
They're already going.
Well,
they're in a bunker somewhere.
Well, I got a good feeling they're not going to be sharing.
They're not going to be sharing.
It's not gonna be, you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a lot of these guys I know that have spoken to me about their stuff. It ain't at their house.
Right.
So don't go there looking for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys, you don't want to go try and take their stuff no how.
Because they're locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the pandemic, and like people were on the news and freaking out or whatever, and I'm sure we can talk like Second Amendment with you as well. Obviously we're huge supporters of that, but you hear people debate that on the news and stuff, and I'm like, I just think back to 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit, and it got real wild west for a little while, right? The police weren't coming for a few days, right? I mean, they had the National Guard had to show up.
Right.
There was no power. There were no businesses open. Money was worth nothing at that point because there was nowhere to spend it, right? Now, that didn't last months, obviously, but it made you really appreciate being able to defend your home or what was left of it, because people were going through neighborhoods and looting and stealing people's
and having
stuff.
a stockpile of food.
Right, exactly.
Water.
And everybody was like frying all the fish that they had in the freezers because there was no power. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is like being able to protect yourself if law enforcement is overstrained, not there for whatever the reason is. To me, it's your civic duty.
Yeah.
And then people during COVID, I think throughout the U.S. kind of got a little bit of a taste of that to a somewhat lesser degree, I feel like, and they pay attention to it now.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely, and I tell you, when the pandemic first hit, I don't know if folks were having Katrina flashback or what. I had a guy come running in one day, and he's like, "Do you have a pistol?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah. Why
are you asking me? Yeah.
He's like, "No, I need to buy one." I was like, "All right, calm down."
Yeah, right.
Don't run into a gun store like that.
Right.
But we saw a lot of folks coming in asking if I can order, shotguns, pistols.
Yeah.
What can you get? How fast can you get it? Can you get ammo for it? I was like, and at the time we didn't have our FFL. So,
right.
I mean, we did holsters, and we might have had a few boxes of ammo on the shelf. Everybody was looking for guns.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's good. You want to protect yourself, and you have every right to do so. One thing we advocate is, if you're going to carry a firearm, go get some training. Train to carry, and then also train on if you have to use it.
Yeah.
If you do have to pull out your gun and defend yourself, you need to be able to save a life just as well as you can take a life.
Correct.
So, because stopping the threat doesn't mean killing the person. It just means stop the threat.
And hoping there's no crowd around or everything, innocent bystanders and everything like that.
Exactly.
Are y'all a firearms dealer now? Do you sell guns in the store?
Yeah, we don't have we have more knives than we have guns.
Okay.
We have a pretty big knife selection. We keep a few guns in. We do more transfers and special orders than anything.
People want to order something off the internet and have it sent to you and pay.
Yeah, I get 3 or 4 shipments from Palmetto every week, it seems like.
Okay.
They're always running sales and deals. So, we do a $20 transfer.
Them out.
Yeah.
I make more money doing that than I do selling guns.
Yeah.
Probably less paperwork too.
The same amount of paperwork.
Oh yeah, because you're transferring the numbers in it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, the knife guy's sitting right here, right?
Yes, sir.
So introduce yourself, brother?
I'm Mason, and
there you go. Well,
so Mason, you grew up in this, right? So this business was already up and running by the time you were knee high to a grasshopper. So what's your job in this? Are you the internet man, or what's your job?
Well, I sell the knives. I know some of the stuff because I'm hanging around with him, and he knows
all the
mostly.
stuff. Yeah. So soaking it up like a sponge.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what
you
you're
just stick
supposed to be
around with him, and
He's
Yeah.
being modest. There's folks that come in looking for him.
Oh, I
Well, I
bet.
see him on the videos, and you
Yeah.
talking about knives, and you talking about everything else in there. So, where did your extensive background come from? Watching your pops, or did you do some research on your own, or how did that come about?
It mostly came from Dad.
Yeah,
Okay.
just watching around
So-
the store.
Yeah, he's like the store. If we wouldn't have had the store, I wouldn't have had a knife collection or nothing.
I
Yeah.
bet you got a nice knife collection, huh? What can you tell us? What kind of what's like? What's your favorite knife?
You mind if I?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah,
So-
let's
If
do
you're
it.
gonna stab
This is
somebody,
my
go
favorite
with
one.
Joey.
Yeah.
Now this is the Civivi Elementum,
Okay.
and I've dropped this one in a lake. Went back the next day and got it, cleaned it up, and it was fine.
Okay.
Right.
And this one's, I opened up boxes with it, and it's
Now,
It's
how
good, though,
how
right?
old did you say you are?
I'm 10.
10 years old. Okay. So
Yeah.
did you learn a lot about knife safety and stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's taught me everything.
Yeah.
Right.
pretty
Right.
much.
Well,
I can tell by the way he whipped it out and
Yeah.
closed it back. That he knows what he's
Today's a
doing.
little weird than back in the day because you used to be able to carry pocket knives to school, and now it's school safety, man. You can't have it anywhere around. So, of course, you got to be cognizant of that because you don't want to take that to school because you dag sure be in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm homeschooled, so.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
That
go. You
makes
can
it-
carry it wherever you want to go. Then
You can take it to school. Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So you got a large knife collection?
I got around 20 something.
That's pretty large. I would consider that large. Yeah, I was looking on y'all's Facebook page today, and y'all have the sharpeners, the
work sharp.
work sharp.
Yeah.
I bought one of those not too long ago, and I'm pretty impressed with it. I think it's pretty cool. I watched a ton of YouTube videos on how you can reshape the blades on knives that are just in really super bad shape, but it's a little bit of an art to it, huh?
Sharpening, it's getting to be a lost art.
Yeah.
My uncle, he used to sit down with a whetstone and he
Mhm.
could turn a butter knife into a scalpel.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And now there's not that many folks doing it anymore.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just the older folks. And
Well, it's more of a like we live in a disposable world.
yeah,
To where
Yeah.
your grandpa, he had a chainsaw blade or a lawnmower blade or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, even a pocket knife.
Yeah.
If it was dull, he's gonna. I mean, my grandpa used to have a case knife that was a regular blade, little flat blade, and by the time he got done with it, it was like a
It was
toothpick.
toothpick.
'Cause he had really sharpened all the metal off of
there's
it because he
still
was
steel
not
there,
doing
so
it.
we can sharpen it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. He would lawnmower blades $23.
Yeah.
He's gonna take
Nah.
that thing off. He's gonna
Yeah.
put it on the grinder. He's gonna sharpen it just because that's how he's always done it.
Yep.
It's just a
Different
different
nowadays.
generation. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the work sharp, they kind of bridge the gap. That's one of the reasons why we brought them in. They
Yeah.
do have some hand sharpeners that's
Uh-huh.
got guides and all that, so you can freehand it, or you can get the ones with the belts, and they do a real
Yeah,
good job,
that's
real quick.
It's like a
but-
belt sander, really, is
yeah.
what it is, And I got the attachment part where you do it by hand. Where
Oh,
take
you
the guide
got
off.
the Ken Onion one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna say I'm good with it. I've
It's-
messed around with it.
It's still an art.
Yeah.
It takes some practice.
Yeah,
We-
and I was nervous too. It's like I didn't want to ruin my blades.
Yeah.
No, not that. Just didn't want to ruin the knife.
Yeah.
yeah, and if you're not careful, them blades, them belts, will eat up a blade.
Yeah. Big
So
time.
You got to be careful. I mean, it'll put an edge on it, but,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but you
Now, do
gotta be
y'all
careful.
offer that at y'all shop? Knife sharpening?
Yeah, we do. I use a Tormec though.
Okay.
It's a little bit different system. It's a big wheel and strop, and we get real good results with it.
Okay.
I mean, we can make an edge look factory.
Yeah.
People come in and drop their knives off
Oh,
to
yeah.
y'all and do that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What's that usually cost? Is it per blade or per looking at it?
I usually do a flat rate of $5 for folders
Oh,
and
that ain't
$7
bad at
for
all.
fixed blades.
Yeah.
Unless it's if it looks like it's now serrated, and I got
Somebody's been chewing on it? Yeah.
and I'm gonna have to grind on it for 15-20 minutes. It might
Yeah.
be a few dollars more, but
Okay.
usually 5 and 7.
What kind of selection do y'all carry of knives? I mean, is it
It's whatever I
Defend-
feel like
okay.
that
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Right now we're probably fixing to start stocking up on some fillet knives, getting ready
Summer,
for fishing
yeah.
season. We're about sold out of our skinning knives. We trying to do those seasonal. And then we've got a mix of traditional and tactical and practical. And,
okay?
we've got some Kershaws, some Essie, CRKT. We got a whole cabinet of Benchmade.
Okay.
I've got some Bokers. We got
Kaisers.
I've got some Kaisers. We got one of the Bokers in the Help me out, Mason. Which one is it? The tank.
Oh, the Sherman.
The Sherman, where they actually took pieces of a Sherman tank from World War II.
What?
And they took those salvaged pieces and sent them here to Mississippi, where Chad Nichols makes the Damascus.
Yeah.
Is
that the guy that was on the show? Wasn't there a guy from here that made it on one of those knife shows?
Oh, no, that's I know who you're talking
about. That was the
Forged in
Fire.
Yes. There's actually a couple of folks that have been contestants around here, but I know who you're talking about. His name escapes me right now. But no, Chad Nichols is up closer towards Tupelo, and he's known for this intricate Damascus that he makes.
Right.
And he did the Damascus blanks for this Sherman knife. So we got one of those, and it's like a $500 and something knife. I'd never cut anything with it, but it's a piece of history.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But do you sell those?
Yeah.
So you got a couple in the store?
I've got one. I didn't order a bunch of them because
that's a lot. That's a
shit on $500.
Yeah. Is there a picture of that on your Facebook page?
There might be. I'm
to
sure
go back and
Angela's
look.
watching, so there'll probably be one in by the time
Yeah, right.
we get through
But
with it.
Angela, post us in the comments if you got one.
That's super cool, man. I'm a huge like World War II nut. And it was like an actual tank that fought in the war.
Yeah, the Boker's done a whole series of them. They did one with the Tripitz, which was the German. It was the sister ship to the Bismarck.
Okay.
They did one with a Messerschmitt, one of the planes. And this year they're doing the P-51, I think.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So it's a cool little collection they're doing.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
What's y'all's biggest, we talked earlier, y'all's biggest clientele, I guess, is working with local police departments, fire departments, security guards, I'm sure, around here.
All that, and then our biggest thing is our custom holsters.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're known for. We do custom kydex in the back. We stay backed up. I think I'm 3 to 4 weeks out on customs right now.
Okay.
And this is the slow time of year.
Yeah.
So, like I was telling y'all earlier, we get referrals from all over the coast. Every gun store, pawn shop, once you buy a gun and put a light on it, you can't find a holster.
That's right.
So they send everybody to us, and we get them squared away and however you want to carry it.
Okay. So what's that process like? I bring my gun to the store and show you, and then
it depends. We've got blue guns for a lot of different models.
Right.
A lot
Probably
of the most common
ones.
things.
Right.
So sometimes, you just bring me the light. Like if you got a particular light that I mounted on my blue gun.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a gun we don't see many of, or they don't make a blue gun for.
Right.
We'll set up a time for you to bring the gun by, and we prep it, wrap it, and trim it out, polish it up, and get it back to you.
What's a kydex holster run? A custom like that?
Ours start at 55 for inside the waistband and 72 for outside the waistband.
Okay.
And then it goes up from there, just depending on.
And y'all can do different prints and any kind of.
Get some brown water ones made.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I would, dude. Yeah, for real.
And it's not just the holsters either. We've done. We've wrapped so much stuff in plastic it ain't even funny. We've done. I
know they got mag carriers and stuff like that.
Not even just that. I did. I had a charter boat captain. He had a remote for his trolling motor.
Oh yeah.
So we made a belt clip that held his remote and his fishing pliers.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
So it was a little combo thing, and he could steer his boat or get his pliers out.
There you go, Joe. You gotta have one of them. You be the only one other than that guy, whoever that guy was.
Quick draw on a trolling motor.
Yeah, click it in.
But you'd be surprised some of the stuff folks come in and say, "Hey, can you make a sheath for that?"
Let's see.
Sure. We'll figure it out.
See what we can do.
We hadn't had one whoop us yet.
Right.
You figured everybody at the shipyard tools to carry all day long. You figure they'd have plier sheaths and hammer sheaths, and I'm sure they carry a tool belt, but that gets draggy and wet and soggy. That plastic, it don't hold no odor. It doesn't get wet. It just rock and roll, and you can drop it pretty much indestructible.
So what do y'all do like with law enforcement though? Is it making them custom holsters, or what's that relationship like?
We've done that too. We there's a couple of departments that's using stuff that we made from handcuff carriers, double mag pouches, radio holders, things like that. We've done for them. We've done I've done a lot of holsters for detectives and off-duty carry and everything else.
Right.
We do duty belts, tactical pants, battering rams. I'll get a call up. I got a call once. We need 10 pinning shields. Okay,
got it.
Yeah,
we'll get them.
Be here in a couple days. Huh?
Yep. So there's a lot of law enforcement stuff that we have access to that we don't necessarily keep in the store. But we can outfit a department with just about anything they need.
That's awesome.
Or a militia.
Or a militia.
Or a militia. And most of the stuff is sold to the public, just like
yeah. It's I mean, with a few exceptions, there's nothing that you can't really get on Amazon or Etsy or something and find.
Yeah.
The hardcore stuff like your flashbangs and stuff like that, we don't do that.
Yeah.
That takes a special license, but all the soft gear and all that we can do.
I wish, Joey mentioned earlier about can't take knives to school and all that kind of stuff, but like society has drifted away to me from being pro Second Amendment and pro like self-reliant. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of that,
Me neither. And that's one of the reasons why we open the store is kind of help folks that want to do for themselves.
Right.
To kind of give them an avenue where they can, ask questions or find a product that they need.
Yeah, and it's like it's education. You mentioned it. If you're going to buy a firearm, if you're someone who didn't grow up around firearms, or shoots a lot, like you really should educate yourself.
Oh yeah,
and take a class. I don't like to see too many barriers in the way of government to keep you from being able to purchase a firearm, but I do think training, and having the enhancement carry on your concealed carry permit if you've got that, which we do. But it's good. I think it's a great thing, and familiarize yourself with it because it's not as scary then, right? You have a respect for it, but you understand it, right?
You just hand somebody a gun and say, "All right, here you go take care of yourself." That's
good luck.
That's irresponsible.
That's almost a death sentence.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and we talked about COVID. I think we were talking about this past weekend, listening to people talk about California during COVID. Joe Rogan podcast was mentioning like people out there were freaking out because they didn't realize how hard it is to get a gun. And like he had friends that called him and asked him if they could borrow his gun. And he's like, no, it's like, that's just how out of touch some people are. It's like, no, that's not how this works. No, you cannot borrow my gun.
I had a couple of guys come into the shop last week before. And they walked in, they looked around, they said, "Oh, this is great. This is so much better than back home." I said, "Where are you from?" They said, "California."
Oh,
yeah.
Congratulations on getting out.
Yeah, way to go.
They're like, "Dude, you have no idea."
And there's a pile of them moving out.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good that they're coming, but don't come here.
Well, just don't vote that way.
Yeah. And a lot of the ones that are getting out are, they think more like us. They lean more conservative. So.
All right, it looks like we got. I think the picture may be dropped in the comments below. I'm going to assume it's for that knife. I can't click on it right here to be able to show it. I don't think. Yeah, it's just going to come up as the link. But I think that's shared from the knife that you were talking about earlier. So anybody watching, if you click on that link in the comments, you ought to be able to see it. I would assume that it's that knife. So, but yeah, that's killer, man. Do y'all do any like education stuff? Do y'all teach any kind of?
Before COVID, we were doing some trauma classes.
Okay,
we had a couple of real good instructors for that. We kind of got away from it during COVID because everybody was afraid of cooties. Yeah. So now that things are easing up, we're wanting to get back into it. Actually, in the future, in the next couple of years, I want to actually kind of expand the training that we do. And the goal is to have like a long weekend or whatever and be able to do training kind of a la carte and have different coastal instructors set up where you can go here and do a med class, go here and do a advanced rifle class, go over here and do a bushcraft class, and bring in some instructors, but use a lot of the local talent we've got and just have a big training push for the weekend. Cause we get a lot of folks that come in and they want to go to this shooting class, but it's $1,200 plus the airline, plus ammo, plus, all this other stuff. We've got a ton of really good instructors here on the coast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which range do y'all usually send people to? Do you have a specialty range?
We that's one of the questions we get most often is where do I shoot around here?
Yeah.
And sooner or later we're going to make a map. We keep talking about it all the time, just so we can just hand it out. But we shoot over in Biloxi, but there's
where at in Biloxi?
right across from Highway Patrol.
Yeah,
67.
Yeah. Coast Rifle
I
Pistol
just
Club.
thinking like downtown, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
the
not
Pigeon
downtown.
Street.
yeah. I don't think that's like
I mean, you probably could, but the police are going to show up.
They would
Yeah.
definitely be.
But they have a lot of good. They have like clay shoot. They have pigeon shoots. They got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I want to go join, become a member out there. My brother is, but I've shot out there a long time ago with a friend. You can bring a person with your membership.
Yeah,
and it is very nice.
Yeah.
I really liked it. There's that one. Then there's the
McHenry.
McHenry's
nice.
McHenry's kind of restrictive.
Yeah.
So, no rapid fire, no drawing from a holster. So
if
you're wanting to sight something in or, practice with a long gun, that's a good place to do it. If you're wanting to, do some kind of drills or something,
don't go there.
Yeah, they're probably going to ask you not to.
Yeah, and then there's Gun Ho.
There's one in Pascagoula.
Yeah.
But I've never been to that one. Everybody says it's nice, but I've never been to it.
I haven't been to that one in years. I know several people that shoot there. I just remembered last time I shot there, I was about his size, and I remember I had to worry about the mosquitoes toting me off.
Oh, that's all. It's on the river.
It's in the swamp.
Now I think have you heard? Maybe you've heard. I heard it through the grapevine that there's going to be another indoor range possibly being built on Wool Market exit. Have you heard about that?
There's been so many indoor ranges started around here that's fallen through that.
Because Dad's was trying to get one built, right?
I actually know a little bit about that one. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
The guy that's doing it came by and talked to me a couple of months back.
Yeah.
They're talking about it. They're trying to get it up and running.
Supposedly it's something like it's a shooting range, but maybe even like more stuff connected to it. Just the range. I don't know if I don't want to say a restaurant. I don't want to misquote that, but
there's I think the format they're going is similar to some other ones I've seen where they've got the indoor shooting range, but then they have a retail section.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, be selling guns, and then before you buy them, you go try them out in the range. I mean, that's because you walk into Academy and you can say, "Hey, I want a Glock 17." You pick it up and be like, "Oh, well, that doesn't work. It doesn't fit my hand." You know what I'm saying? Then you got to go, "Okay, I just did all my research on this gun. Now I got to go back home, dig something else back up." Where there you can say, "Let me try this, let me try that," and it works out a whole lot better.
If you can find the gun or ammo.
Yeah,
that's gotten a little bit better, but
a
year ago it's terrible.
Well, Academy's racked up pretty good right now. Y'all getting ammo back in pretty good?
Some, like 10 millimeters, still hard to find.
Yeah.
410 has been. I don't know what
and
happened.
20 gauge.
And 20 gauge.
410 and 20 gauge, you can't find it. It don't make any sense.
Yeah.
I've been hoarding it all for Avery's got the little 20 gauge single shot.
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't go dove hunting this weekend because I got like 3 boxes.
Yeah. I've joked. I was like, if I was a legislator, I'd make it pass a law where you had to have so much ammo available at all times to the public.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like it's a problem. I don't know who you would penalize for that, the companies or not, but it's ridiculous when you can't even buy ammo. Cause to me, that's a way to control who can shoot, and what can be done. So
yeah, the gun's no good without the bullets.
Right.
It's just a paperweight.
Got to go to archery or something.
Yeah.
At that point.
But it's going to that. During COVID, I thought it was going to go to that. Like anybody who had a bow was pretty good. There were no guns and no ammo to have.
And a fishing pole.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Y'all got a bunch of other stuff too, because I was going through through your Facebook page. I mean, y'all sell like coffee and stuff too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, y'all got apparel, y'all got shirts.
We carry we got 9-line and grunt style shirts. We've got Black Rifle coffee and Blackout coffee.
Okay.
I went to the Black Rifle store in Savannah. Awesome place. Like you walk down this cobblestone. If you ever been to Savannah, it's like cobblestone road, and then Black Rifle Coffee. It's sitting in the middle of all this other like frou-frou, Victoria's Secret store and some other store, and it's just like helicopters and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff.
Man. Yeah. What I gotta ask before we wrap things up, the logo. Tell me about the logo there on your logos. And y'all got merch too, right?
Yeah.
Well, we've got some. We're fixing to get some more of these shirts made up, and we're actually designing a few shirts. We're working on it. we're going to try and get into that a little bit. Try and do something a little bit more coast related, maybe.
Okay.
So we've got some things in the work.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is it? Is that a horseshoe crab?
That is a horseshoe crab.
Yeah.
Explain that to us.
And we tell this story a lot. This is just me being mean mostly. Is way it worked out. Before I worked at Gander, I worked at another retailer, and me and this buddy was making these little survival kits and selling them at gun shows, and doing okay with them. And we decided we needed a logo. So he had just gone on his honeymoon and come back. While he's on his honeymoon, they were at Gulf Shores, and it was that year that all those great whites were right off the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And him and his wife's out in the surf, and she says, do we need to be worried about sharks? He's like, nah, we're fine. About that time, a horseshoe crab hit him on the side of the leg.
Did he?
And he squealed, and she was halfway up the beach calling
like
in
Jesus,
his life insurance.
like Jesus walking on water. Yeah.
So when he was telling me, I was laughing so hard that I made the logo as a joke, and it just stuck. So
that's killer, man. You've never seen somebody with a horseshoe crab.
Well, it looks tough, right? And I'm like, I couldn't make.
Looks like a tactical horseshoe.
Right. But I was like,
no, it's just me being mean.
Okay, that's good enough.
Deep.
Yeah, that's good enough. I like that.
And it's coastal.
It is, and I have so many good memories of like being a kid, like probably your age, and like my dad picking them up, and you're a kid. It looks like a dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
all
really
those little legs.
Yeah, and you think that they would hurt you by the way that they look, and then he's like, "No, come over here." You hold
they got blue blood.
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
But no, that's a really good logo. Though. I like that.
Yeah,
that's solid.
So tell us about the hours. When can we find y'all?
We're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturdays, 10 to 2, except for the second Saturday of the month because me and Mason's at the range shooting Steel Challenge.
Okay.
Awesome.
And that's out there at 67. So if we go out there, we'll see y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What you shoot?
I shoot, I think that next month I'm going to shoot my 1022.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the compact, so it's like 2 inches shorter.
It's a little bit shorter.
Little M&P? Is that what it is? Smith & Wesson?
No, it's a Ruger 1022.
Okay,
it's the compact, so it's a little bit smaller.
Okay.
So he can handle the weight a little better.
Steel targets out there?
Yep.
Okay.
It's drag racing with a gun. It's a ton of fun.
Okay.
You got we usually set up 5 stages. I think there's 8 total. But you've got different size plates set in different configurations.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a timer, and you're going for speed. How many you can hit in the shortest amount of time?
That's the one where the guy behind you, he says go, and you're.
Yep, you got 4 plates and a stop plate, and the goal is to hit them as quick as you can.
Are you moving or is this sitting?
No, this is stationary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of distance we talking?
I think the farthest out is maybe
50 yards,
30 yards.
30 yards.
Okay,
it's pretty up close.
Shooting 22s is fun.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's not just 22s. There's guys out there shooting 9mm. It's all pistol caliber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much anything pistol caliber you got in your closet, you can probably shoot it at Steel Challenge.
Okay. Yeah, we got to get out there.
Yeah,
it's a ton of fun.
That's what I'm looking for. Avery's a 1022. She's got the little cricket. She's still got her little cricket rifle, and she's a squirrel assassin with that thing. But it's time to step up a little bit.
Step it up.
But the problem with them, their arms are so short. You know what I'm saying? They can't really get to a full size rifle yet. So you got to compact it for sure.
Yeah. Most active on Facebook. Is if people want to get in touch. Y'all got a website or what you on?
We've
Facebook?
got a website. We got Facebook. My wife handles all of that.
Yeah,
so
she
if
was
I
in
get
the
it wrong,
Boss
in the
lady.
comments,
So get in touch with Boss Lady.
I call her 52 because she's got 52% of the company. I'm only 48.
You better call her 99.
So I say, it's your call, 52.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's OverwatchSupply.com is our retail site. We're as Overwatch Supply on Facebook, and then I forget what all else we're on. I'm not a.
Yeah, she's at OverwatchSupply.com.
There
we
it
got
is.
it. We'll flash it over.
And when can we catch you in the store?
When
you're not in homeschool?
I'm not sure when I'm gonna be there.
All
They just bring me there.
Well,
stay home.
We want to see the celebrity.
Yeah,
we want to go and see the celebrity.
That's how a celebrity would answer that question. They'd be like, I don't know. I'll be there when I'm there. Yeah.
Whenever I'm there, come find me.
Have your people get with these people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna keep making the videos? Those are cool. If people haven't seen them, go check out their Facebook page. They got some some cool little skit videos, I'd call it, right, where they do some silliness, and it's good.
How'd you get into that?
It's all Dad. He's the mastermind.
So he comes up with the idea, and you're just his little puppet. He moves you around, tells you what to do. That's what it is. That's how it starts. Yeah, that's it.
So, well, hey, we appreciate y'all coming in here and hanging out with us this evening, taking time out of your day. Hopefully, we'll send some people over to y'all and get some stuff, man. Check out the store and check it out. So, want to thank Lamy Electric for sponsoring the app before we wrap things up. If you haven't downloaded the Brownwater Banter app, you can do that. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Josh was in here from Caston Coastal. What's up, man? I saw your comment here. Mason is usually there on Fridays. So we've got it from the boss.
There it is.
That's usually where
boss lady says Fridays.
But thanks everybody for watching on live, and we'll see y'all on the next one.